Can you see this? This is me hanging my head in shame. I forgot a birthday shout out yesterday. I'm so sorry. The lovely Tracy, who is State of Denial here on YouTube and Dueling Needles, I think I got that right, over on Instagram. She let me know that yesterday was her dad's 91st birthday and I forgot to do a shout out. I'm so sorry. I got myself so in a fluster about whether I was just going to do a podcast or whether I was going to do a separate Vlogtober and a podcast that it went in and out of my brain. So I'm so sorry, Tracy. Please wish your lovely dad a belated birthday from the Yarn and Yarns community. You didn't say what his name was, but happy birthday, Dad. We'll just call him Dad. 91, that's amazing, isn't it? And also belated birthday greetings to Pamela, who popped up on our Ravelry group to say that it was her birthday the same day as Ellie's, so a couple of days ago. So yes, happy birthday, Pamela, and I hope you have an amazing day. Yeah, I thought I'd spare you all my singing today. Welcome, Vlogtober Day 7. Yeah, 7. I have to check my phone. Oh dear. My name is Angela and all of the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. As you can see, I'm here on the beach today. It is Wednesday and it's about 2 o'clock or just past 2 in the afternoon, maybe a little bit later. I have been having a pretty boring work day today, as in lots of admin and nothing particularly exciting going on other than that. It's a overcast but bright, dry day today, so I figured that I would take a break from my screen and come for a walk down to the beach, and I brought a little bit of knitting with me as well. So I thought for today's Vlogtober I'd just share with you a little bit of beach footage, because I know that lots of you out there enjoy that, and we haven't really had a beach day yet. We've had lots of drizzly rainy days, and although I have been walking to the beach, I haven't been recording anything. But yeah, I'm taking a little break from work and I thought we could sit and knit. I brought my sock project with me, and it's a new sock project. I started this one last night, so I can chat to you a little bit about that. And then I thought I might catch up and answer a couple of the questions that you kindly left me in my sort of Vlogtober planning video. Before we get stuck into the knitting, the beaching and the questions, it's time for our Yarn and Yarns community shout out. So today I want to give a shout out to a name that might be very familiar to some of you if you've been here for a while, but my lovely co-host for the Thank Goodness It's Finished knit along that we're hosting over in our Ravelry group at the moment, the lovely Caroline, who is the brains behind Colourful Creativity. Caroline is a wonderful dyer based in the Netherlands. She also designs patterns, and I'll link to her web shop below this video, as well as her YouTube channel. I know many of you will know Caroline because I've mentioned her quite a few times during the course of my life as a YouTuber here, but I know that we've got quite a few new subscribers, so I don't want to assume. If you've not watched her channel before, Caroline is also participating in Vlogtober, so if you want a little bit more Vlogtober content in your subscription feed, then please do go and check out Caroline's channel below. If you haven't visited before, then please leave a comment and let her know that I'm sending you over. Give her a big wave, and of course, if you like what you see, then please do subscribe to Caroline's channel. Right, I'm going to get my sock project out and get knitting, so I'll chat to you a little bit about that first, then I can knit away on it as I answer the questions of the day. Keeping this sock project in this gorgeous Japanese knot style bag, which was made for me by my lovely friend Julia. Hi Julia, if you're watching. Julia is Mindful Magpie over on Instagram, and she very kindly gifted me this bag a little bit earlier on in the summer. And inside here I've finally cast on a sock for my mother-in-law for her birthday, which is coming up at the end of October. So I've been banging on about the need to cast this on for the last couple of weeks, and finally I actually sat down and cast on last night. So I'm using a combination of Regia yarn. So this was a ball of yarn that I purchased from a D-stash. I'm not sure if this colourway has a name, but it is shade 6029. I'm not sure how recent this is, whether it's still available or not. But it's a lovely combination of sort of greys. There's a sort of beigey brown, a brick red in this yarn, and my mother-in-law has a pair of trousers that she wears quite a lot that are in this blue grey, so I thought she might enjoy these. And when I purchased that Regia from Sylvia, I also purchased a box of sort of leftovers and mini skeins from various indie dyers. They weren't individually labelled, but it's this lovely sort of pinky red in that box, which I thought would go quite nicely. It's not exactly the same. I thought it would tone in quite nicely with the sort of brick colour in the main colour of the yarn. So I'm using that mini for contrast heels, toes and cuffs. And here is my progress so far. So yeah, I think that although this is slightly more on the pinker side than the sort of brick red in there, I think it sort of goes quite nicely. So it's my progress so far. I've knit the cuff and I'm part way down the first leg. I've also got a lovely glass bead on the sock there, which I forgot to mention when I gave Caroline a shout out. She makes these amazing glass beads, which some of them she turns into stitch markers, and I purchased this little mummy head from her when she was here with the Knit Tea retreat this time last October. So I thought, given that I'm hoping to get these made for our Vlogtober along, I thought these weren't particularly kind of Halloweeny or autumnal colours, but I figured if I hang a Halloween progress keeper, it totally counts, right? And I need to get these finished by the end of October. So yeah, if you're thinking about joining in our Vlogtober make along, which is YNY Vlogtober Cal over on Instagram, and we've got some threads in the Ravelry group too, but you're thinking, oh, I just don't have anything autumnal or Halloweeny or Vlogtober-esque to work on, literally just, you know, hang a stitch marker on it with a spooky theme. Totally counts. As long as you make it during Vlogtober, it absolutely counts. So yes, now I have chatted about that sock, I'm going to knit away while I answer a couple of questions that I had on the Vlogtober planning video. I'm really classy, I've written them on my hand. So I've picked out two questions, and the first one is from Lottie of Bewitching Stitches, and we gave Lottie a community shout out I think on the first day of Vlogtober. And Lottie asks, what is my favourite project that I've made this year in 2020? Which is a fab question, thank you so much Lottie. And I was looking through, before I came out, I was looking through my Ravelry projects where I kind of keep a track of everything that I've been making and finishing, and there were two projects, I'm cheating slightly, there are two projects that I just couldn't decide between, so I figured I would just pick two instead of one, sorry. Is that cheating? It's my Vlogtober, my rules. First project that I absolutely love and adore that I finished this year is my Love Note sweater, and I'll pop a picture up on the screen of me wearing that sweater in case you haven't been following for that long. And I knit mine in a combination of Rowan Kid Silk Haze in a lovely super bright yellow colour, which sadly they don't make anymore, and also I had two skeins of, and the dye is escaping me, but it was a silk blend yarn, I think. I'll have my project page listed below. Please be aware that it is a Ravelry project page, so if you're not using Ravelry then please don't click the link if it's going to cause you harm. But if you desperately do need the details and you're not using Ravelry, then let me know and I shall happily message you the details for the yarn dyer. I do remember I picked it up, I think it might have been You and Ply, actually it's coming back to me, You and Ply tonal yellow colour, and I used just under, I made a short sleeve version because I didn't have much yarn, but I used just under 2 skeins of 4-ply yarn, which was just a bit of a revelation to me because I am a larger person, I knit larger sizes, and yeah, an indie dyed sweater is quite an extravagance when you're going in for a sort of like a sweater with long sleeves. Although you do get more meters to the ball in a 4-ply yarn, a lot of the sweaters will take 3, 4, sometimes even 5 skeins, which if you're purchasing from an indie dyer is quite a substantial sum of money to outlay. So the fact that I could get a really wearable sweater out of 2 skeins of indie dyed yarn was just brilliant. I have my eye on another yarn that I really want to use for a love note, but I haven't purchased it yet. Don't have the yarn pennies at the moment, but I love my love note so much that I am definitely contemplating another. And then the second project that I just really enjoyed from start to finish was my storm shawl, which is a pattern by Johi Locatelli, and it's a 1 skein shawl, and I knit mine from a skein of hand spun yarn. I'm quite sentimentally attached to that project. I spun up a quantity of fibre from Ashford, the New Zealand spinning company, that was gifted to me by my lovely friend Tracy while we were on a trip to New Zealand a couple of years ago. James's sister lives over in New Zealand, and we went to her wedding, and while we were there we did a little bit of travelling, and our friend Tracy lives down on the South Island, so we went to visit her, and she gifted me several bags of Ashford sliver, and I spun up the poppy seed colourway. And I've never been massively a fan of 1 skein shawls, I just didn't really find them big enough, but the storm shawl has these drop stitch rows and lots of garter stitch, which means that when you block it, it grows, it just grows. Yeah, so I absolutely love that shawl. I haven't had the opportunity to wear it too much yet, but we're definitely now getting into sort of colder shawl wearing and woolies weather. I've got my Lee tee on today, which is a cropped chunky weight short sleeve again sweater that I knit from a random quantity of leftover chunky yarn that I found in the shop when I took over the shop. It was a Rowan yarn, and there was only a handful of balls left, and I wasn't sure that I had enough. I knit a size that had less positive ease, and I had 1 skein of this contrast purple. So if I stand up, I've added the purple contrast around the bottom and the cast off for the sleeves and the neck, and yeah, anyway, digressing, sweater weather, yay. So getting back to the point, I'm pretty sure that my storm shawl will get a lot of use this winter. Oh, so thank you so much, Lottie, for your question. That was a really fun one to answer. It's been a bit of a strange year, isn't it? It was quite nice to look back through the projects that I'd knit through so far this year and realise that despite everything that's going on in the world and everything that has been happening with Yarn and Yarns, I've still managed to complete some really nice projects this year. And then the second question for the day was asked by the lovely Jeanette, and I think Jeanette is just Jeanette in the comments below, I think. That's right, isn't it, Jeanette? And Jeanette asked if you could visit, or if you have a favourite place, where in the world is that? So my favourite place that I have been able to visit, we haven't particularly travelled widely, but New Zealand by far and away is the best place that I've visited. At some point in the future I'm hoping that we'll get to go back because we have relatives over there. So we went for 3 weeks, and yeah, it's just an amazing country, and I would go back in a heartbeat. The travel is a bit of a pain, but it's the furthest away that we could travel for sure. But yeah, the country is just beautiful, and I'd love to explore both the North and the South Island a little bit more than we had the time and opportunity to do so. As for places that I'd love to visit, there are 2 that are again, I'm cheating slightly. I've got 2 that are hands down at the top of my list, and they're both in the same kind of area. I've always had this obsession with Alaska. I'd love to go to Alaska, and I'd also really love to visit Canada. They're definitely top of my bucket lists. If I ever have the opportunity to go to either of those places, I would, yeah, just grasp that opportunity and go. But yeah, Canada. Canada or Alaska? I don't know, maybe it's something about those sort of countries, like I guess New Zealand as well, where you kind of view, although they have big cities and whatnot, you kind of have this view of them with lots of kind of like big wilderness areas as well, low population, plenty of amazing outdoor spaces to explore. So yeah, one day. Thanks for your question, Jeanette. Again, that was another really fun one to answer. I've got plenty more questions to get through, and I'm hoping that I will be able to drag James on to an episode to answer at least one of the questions that we've got coming up. I think that's probably enough chatter from me for today, and I shall sign off from the video. I'll leave you with a few scenes from the beach. Literally, as soon as I press record. Blinking helicopters. Talk among yourselves while I untangle my sock. Oh dear. How is it that you put a sock project in the project bag, you don't really do anything with it other than carry it to the beach, and it's a tangled mess? Just stood up and discovered I've been sat in a wet patch. Got a nice soggy bottom. I wouldn't pass muster on the bake-off.